Okay, well, you guys are still strolling in here on Realtor Time. I appreciate all of that. Today, guys, we have Jason Pughe with us for installment number 6 of our 6-week series, brought to you by AmeriFirst. Michelle from AmeriUno is not able to be in yet this morning, so I appreciate all of you guys coming out. This is the one you guys wanted to see. This is the one we had the most requests for, which is video marketing. How to, when to, why to, everything else that Jason's got some videos for you this morning. One of them shows you how to set up your own YouTube page. That's a short one. And the other one is Tom Ferry telling you how, why, when, and where to do it. So Jason, sorry about that. So Jason, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to make you the host. If there's anything else that you want to share with us before we get going, I know Michelle has some things that she wants to talk about when she comes in, or maybe we can do that next week or something, have you guys on as guests, just a brief guest appearance next week, whatever it is you want to do. But I'm going to turn the floor over to you, and behind the scenes, I'm going to make you the host.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, so essentially, we the videos in the past have been AmeriFirst and have been ones that we've had collectively and host. We have yet to have one on video marketing. We need to have one. So it was a little bit of a challenge to try to find the right videos to ultimately give you what you need. So I figured probably the best place to start was to find a video of how to create a YouTube page and kind of go from there. And then after that, use Tom Ferry and somebody who has really good insight on video marketing. I had a chance to go to his event in Orlando a few months ago, and a lot of the video stuff was right on. I will tell you that I haven't put into practice what he said to do, so this is a great reminder for me to do that. I think a lot of people have, different reasons why they don't do it, whether it's being too busy, self-conscious, things like that. But at the end of the day, it's really hard to be successful at video marketing if you don't actually do it. So I need to kind of practice what I preach in that regard. And so this is a good timely reminder for me as well. The other thing is, one other point that I was going to say. Also was at the Orlando Real Producers event last week, and it was about marketing with social media. YouTube wasn't touched on a lot, but kind of the same thing of how important, they were showing different agents and how they're successful. A lot of them do video marketing, not just through YouTube, but they were talking about how they do it on Instagram, how they do it on Facebook. So I definitely think that it's something that is successful and a big reason why a lot of agents are successful. So I think this is all good information. So let me dive into this. It'll be 2 videos. The first one I think is close to 15 minutes, and then the other one's I think around 50 minutes. So collectively a little over an hour. Yeah.
BC in Southern California. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to be sharing with you everything that you need to know on how to get started on YouTube in 2021, especially if you're a real estate agent. So stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video, I do want to let you know that this entire thing is currently being filmed on an iPhone XR. Now, the reason that I'm filming on an iPhone is because many of you are always reaching out and asking me what type of equipment do I have or do you need to get started. A lot of you think that you need an expensive camera or expensive lighting, when in reality, the best camera that you can start with is on your cell phone. So that is why I'm filming on here, so that you can see that all of this can be done just using your cell phone device. So with that being said, let's start with equipment. Like I said, your cell phone is the best thing that you can use to get started. Along with that, if you may or may not see, right now I do have a small microphone. It's a lapel microphone that I got on Amazon. It's about $20 and I have it connected to my cell phone. Again, I have the iPhone, so I do have the little adapter that connects the auxiliary cord to my iPhone so that everything can transfer correctly. And the reason that I'm using this lapel microphone is because I'm standing pretty far away from my phone, so I want to make sure that I at least have good audio. Along with that, I just have a very small tripod, and that is where my cell phone is currently being held. It has this small device that's like this that you just put in your cell phone like that, and that's pretty much it. If you guys do want to invest on a ring light, there are also some ring lights that come with a tripod stand. Those are about $40. That would be a good investment in case you guys want to have lighting, especially you want to film at night. Now, in terms of lighting, especially right now for this video, I am actually sitting in front of this very large window that's by my desk. And the reason that I'm sitting here is because I want to take advantage of the sunlight. Like I mentioned way in the beginning, a lot of you think that you need expensive equipment, whether it's a camera or lighting, and you really don't. If you are on a budget, I would definitely recommend for you to take advantage of the sunlight, especially during the day, and make sure that you film your videos during the day, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoon. That way you have that natural sunlight to be able to use to make you look brighter. When I started making my videos on YouTube, and you can go back to when I first started in 2015, you will see that a lot of the videos that I filmed were always outside. And this is specifically is the reason why I did them outside, because I knew that the sunlight would make my videos look brighter, so I wouldn't have to struggle with trying to find lighting or having to purchase lighting. And I know it can get pretty pricey. So if you are in that position, make sure you have your cell phone and you sit in front of a window or somewhere where there's a lot of sunlight that comes in and hits your face. This will also make your videos look really good in the sense that you won't look so grainy or it won't look pixelated. Next, let's move on to editing. So when I first started to create videos, which I would always film on my iPhone, the first editing software that I used was iMovie. Now, the reason that I used iMovie was because this is the program that came with my MacBook, so I just wanted to use something that I already had. iMovie was super easy to use, so if you have a Mac, I would definitely recommend for you to start playing around with this program. If you don't have a Mac, there are also a lot of programs available out there. Some are free, some you do have to pay a small fee for, but there are a lot of different programs and software available for you to use. Now, a great supplement to your editing software is actually a platform called InVideo. InVideo has thousands of different templates for you to be able to use and edit to your own taste to create ads, whether it's for YouTube, for Facebook, or Instagram. They have so many different options, and a lot of the things that you're going to see in this video were things that I actually created in InVideo. They have over 1 million different photos, videos, and audios from stock footage that you can use. And the best part is that the price is so affordable that they have actually given me a code to share with you all, and that is LV50, so that you can get 50% off your entire year, which ends up coming out to $60, which is extremely affordable considering that there are a lot of other programs out there that charge you over $100 a month to have the access to the same things. Next, let's talk about thumbnails. When it comes to creating thumbnails, the website that I use is Canva. Canva.com is completely free, and again, just like in video, Canva has thousands of different templates for you to go on there and create your own graphic designs. Some tips that I do recommend for you when creating thumbnails is that you want to make sure that your letters pop out and stand out. So make sure to make the letters big. Usually what I do is that I create them in a white color with a border or a glow. There are so many different options, but yeah, Canva is where you want to get started on those. And along with that, keep in mind that thumbnails are the reason why someone is actually going to want to click on your video. So make sure that whatever you do put on there is something that will catch their attention to actually want to find out more of what it is that you're going to be talking about. Step 4, and this is actually very important for those of you that have no idea how to even get started or how often to post or what to post when. Number 4 is to create a content schedule. So the same way that we have a schedule for our real estate business, you want to make sure that you have a schedule for when you're going to be posting content, whether it's on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, or any platform that you use for social media. So the way that I grew my YouTube channel was by posting consistently once a week. So you have to sit down and figure out exactly how often do you want to be posting. Along with that, what type of content do you want to be creating? Are you going to be creating content for consumers, whether it's buyers or sellers, or are you going to want to incorporate a little bit more about your life as well? Is it going to be vlogs? Is it going to be real estate education? Is it going to be education for consumers? Is it going to be something that's not even related to real estate? Sit down and figure out exactly what it is that you want to do and really narrow it down to the days that you're going to film, the days that you're going to edit, and the days that you're actually going to be posting these videos to go live. I can tell you from experience that in the beginning, it might seem like all of this is taking a lot of time away from you. And that's why it's really important to create a schedule so that you know exactly how much time you're spending and whether or not you need to reduce that time by either outsourcing the editing to either an intern or someone else that can do it. That way you can focus on your income producing activities. Step 5 will come down to you actually filming a video. One thing that I want you guys to know is that it might take a few tries to get started because you're not used to being in front of a camera or talking or hearing yourself. And when it comes down to editing, you might even be cringing at the fact that you're listening to yourself. So when it comes down to filming a video, I would recommend for you to set aside about an hour. Again, all of the info that I'm giving you is being based off of being a complete beginner on YouTube. So the reason that I want you to set aside an hour is because you might have a thought of the type of video that you want to do, but you will notice yourself always messing up, and that's just the reality. Sometimes it might take you 30 tries before you actually get it right. So with an hour, you will have enough time for you to film yourself and also be able to look back and redo any takes that you feel weren't done up to par or how you feel it should have been done. Once you actually do create a video, the recommended time that I would say for you to make it would be between 5 to 7 minutes long. You don't want to make it too long because then people start zoning out. And then you also don't want to make it too short because perhaps you might have a lot more info that you can share and people might feel like they were just left hanging. Step number 6, uploading a video onto YouTube. So assuming that you already have a YouTube account, you will take your video and upload it. You definitely want to make sure to have a catchy title. The catchy title or the subject, this is again what's going to make people actually want to click on your video and learn more as to what it is that you're talking about. The types of videos that do very well are how-to videos, videos where you are listing a certain number of things. I recently uploaded a video titled 5 Video Ideas for Real Estate Agents. It's this one. So make sure that you definitely check it out because it's going to give you so many different ideas of type of content that you can be creating. Once you have uploaded your video onto your YouTube channel, make sure to also write in the description what your video is about and also make sure to include any links where people can reach you. Number 7, thinking about video ideas. So if you are new to creating a YouTube channel, definitely think what type of content you want to be putting out. I have already given you the 5 different video ideas that you can be creating, but perhaps you don't want to just talk about real estate. If there is something that you like personally that is maybe your hobby or that really interests you, chances are that there's others that are interested in that as well. So take advantage of that and start creating content. For example, Kevin was an agent on our team and he absolutely loves rollerblading. So he started to incorporate rollerblading into his real estate and prospecting videos.
What are you doing?
You would see a combination of
What are you
both.
doing,
So what does that look like for you? Is there a certain hobby? Maybe it's music, maybe it's sports, maybe it's your kids, maybe you're always going to the dog park, maybe you're always at the gym and working out. You can incorporate a lot of different things into your videos
E falando que ela pegou as stairs pra ver que
about
ela...
real estate. This is also very helpful because at the end of the day, whoever watches your videos might be able to relate to you in other ways aside from houses and reaching out to you for a real estate need. They might be able to connect with you because they see that you are always working out. But again, sit down and think exactly what type of content you want to be putting out. What type of content do you like watching? Use that as a reference point to get you started in creating videos. What always helps me when creating videos is that once I do have that idea, I like to write down bullet points. That way I know exactly what to talk about, and once I do get in front of a camera, I have something to take a look at to remind me of the type of things that I want to make sure I cover in my video. Number 8, and this is a really important one, and that is to be consistent. A lot of you might want to start a YouTube channel and hopefully go viral in one of your videos, but the reality is that for you to start to gain an audience, it might take some time. Depending on the type of videos that you are putting out, whether they are real estate related or related to something else, there may be a smaller audience that is looking for the type of information you're putting out, or there may be a large audience that is always researching the type of info that you're putting out in your videos. So it will really come down to the type of content and you being consistent. It's not going to happen overnight that you're just going to get 1 million subscribers. For me, as you can see right now at the time of this recording, I'm about to hit 65,000 subscribers. I started filming videos back in 2015, so it's taken about 5 years to hit 60,000 subscribers, which is a little bit over 10,000 a year. Now, if I was doing YouTube videos about beauty or something that is more mainstream, perhaps I would have grown much faster. But because my information is very specific, my niche is real estate agents, then of course it's not going to be growing as fast. So this is something you want to make sure to keep in mind. So now let's talk about monetizing your channel. The rules that YouTube currently has is that your channel has to have 1,000 subscribers and a minimum of 4,000 hours of watch time in a 12-month period before you can actually monetize your videos. Once you are able to monetize your videos, depending on how long your videos are, YouTube will automatically start putting ads in depending on the type of audience that you're attracting. One thing to note is that if your videos are 10 minutes or more, then you yourself can manually input multiple ads in your videos, which ultimately might result in you getting more money. Now, when it comes down to money and getting paid, there is, I believe, a $100 threshold that YouTube has for how much you have to make before you actually get paid. It may take months before you actually see a paycheck, but once it does, it's probably always going to be consistent if you are consistent with posting videos. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is leverage your videos. Now, what I mean by this is that let's say that you have just created a YouTube video. What you can do is that you can post a short clip onto your Instagram or your Facebook so that a lot more people can actually watch it. On your Instagram account, what you can do is that in the link in your bio, you can go ahead and put the YouTube video on there. Not just that, but another thing that you can do is that you can start promoting your YouTube videos to your database. If these are videos that are very specific to buyers and sellers, you can input them and embed them into your newsletters. That way they can see that you are creating video content, and they might also want to go ahead and check out your YouTube channel for any more information that they think is actually helpful for them. Let me know if you have any other questions. That way I can probably film another part 2 to this and answer anything else that you might be concerned about or have questions on. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to check out InVideo. The link will be in the description box below. LV50 for 50% off, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I am actually testing something going live on Facebook while I'm doing this. First of all, thank you always for subscribing, for sharing, for leaving a comment. It just means the world to me. This is going to be really interesting because I'm going to talk video today, and I haven't gone direct on just strategies and tactics and why you should just be going hardcore on video. Though I know you know this, and if you're a longtime Tom Ferry follower, you are probably... take probably out. You're way ahead of the curve. But there's still some people out there that really aren't executing at the level. And I just want to talk about that. But I want to start by, saying hey to my friends on Facebook Live and everybody listening, whether you're in the car working out or you're watching this on YouTube. Thank you always. In the summer of 2007, I was playing golf at my club back in Southern California. And, we can all remember 2007, what that was like. Global economic crisis, challenge, upset, so much uncertainty. But about 18 months prior to that, I was looking for a way to contribute to as many people as I can. Remember in 2007, we didn't have many of the platforms and tools that we have today. So I had this ingenious idea that I could record audio messages into one of those old, like Tristan Globe microphones, right? In my, home office, and I'd record these messages, and then I would send via email a link for people to listen. And I did that for, 16, 18 months. And then all of a sudden I am on the golf course, and my buddy Ed Park, big shout out to Ed Park, he says, "Hey, do you want to play golf with my pal and I?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course, man." Like, "Hey man, nice to meet you. Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, my name is David." I'm like, "David, what do you do?" And he says, "I, live in New York and I work for Google." And I was like, "Oh, well, you and I should ride together." And get him in the car, and I just start asking him questions, right? Tell me about this and tell me about that, and how long you been with the company, and not like interrogating him, but kind of interrogating him. And so we're about halfway through the round, and I say, Google clearly wants me to succeed so I can spend more money on advertising. I said, "Can I share with you some of the things that I'm doing? Then you could give me some feedback, right?" And so he says, "Yeah, of course, man. Like, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Well, so I'm doing these audio messages, and I'm thinking about blogging, and I'm doing some blogging, but I'm not doing it at any consistent level." And funny, he says to me back then, remember, it's 2007. He says, "Yeah, audio's not where it's at," right? Just Tristan, just think about that. Can you imagine if I continued to do audio podcasting, what we would call it today, from 2007 to today? Like, I think Joe Rogan would be calling me and saying, "Hey man, how'd you do it?" Right? Because he started around 11 years ago, and just from doing it forever, and obviously having great guests and content, and Joe is like a genius, right? Like, I just think I'd be so much farther ahead, but whatever, I regress. Instead, he said to me, "Hey, we bought this company called YouTube. You should go all in on video." And I was like, okay, and I remember launching my first YouTube channel in 2007, and probably just like so many of you, I thought YouTube was a place to watch Charlie Bit My Finger, the original dance, whatever videos, cat videos, all this kind of entertainment, which is hysterical because you think about TikTok today, which is purely an entertainment site like Netflix, Hulu, and everything else. It's not a shock, right, that video worked. But I go back to those early days, and I just said, I'm just going to find out what's important to my clients and just put it out there on video and see what happens. I'm not going to be attached. Launched my current channel in 2009. And when I reflect back on, the horrible first videos, all the mistakes I made, the evolution of no lighting, no microphone, standing outside in Chicago on a flip video camera, just creating content because I knew I had to put something out, and where we are today, it just, first of all, I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful that I had the foresight, the insight, whatever you want to call it, that I carved out the time of my incredibly busy schedule to do this. Well, now today, you watching this right now, whether you're with me live or you're listening to this later, I want to make the argument statistically and then tactically on what you should be doing from a video standpoint going forward. Some videos I believe that you need to start doing on a weekly basis. And it doesn't matter as you're listening to this if you're like, "Oh, I'm already feeling behind." Yeah, the good news is there's not enough agents out there that are actually doing video. Like, when you look at the consumer data around what's important to customers, what do they want, you're not behind. Though those of us that started early, the Christoph Chu's, the Eileen Rivera's, the Lisa Doyle's, so many of my clients that went early, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, they're way ahead. But when you look at the demand for content and how consumer behavior has shifted towards video, certainly over the last 5 years, and even more so today, the call to arms for you is just a start. But first, I want to show you this. I guess I can't really show you, but I'm looking at this article that came out in April 30th, 2020 on Oberlo, Oberlo, and it's the 10 video marketing statistics that you need to know in 2021. So I'm going to share these, and then I'm going to share with you 10 videos I think you should shoot that are just going to be one-offs or campaigns. Then I'm going to talk to you about how I come up with content ideas, and then I'm going to basically just wrap it up with the 3 most important videos I believe you need to watch, you need to produce every single week. So I'm just scanning the site right now. We had Googled earlier, like, marketing statistics regarding video. And, look, high level, this is the stuff you need to know. Internet users everywhere enjoy video content. 85% of all internet users in the US watched online video content monthly or on some device. So that seems pretty obvious. I'm going to try and skip through the most basic ones. I think this one was interesting though. Demand for video content is increasing. Demand for video content is increasing. 54% of consumers want to see more video content from a brand or a business they support. A brand, you, or a business that they support. 54% of consumers are like, I want to see more of your content. I want to see more of what you're doing. Educate me. Show me the city. Show me the town. Tell me what it means to buy $1 million house here. How do I buy my first home? They want to see more from you, not less. Number 3, video as a powerful marketing tool. It says 87% of marketing professionals use video as a marketing tool. 87%. So think about 15 years ago when TV was the mother lode, and it was impossible for people like you and I, from a financial standpoint, to go out and to create commercials on yourself. Yet today, B-roll YouTube commercials, B-roll, the pre-video that you would see because you want to see LeBron James do a dunk, or, a Tom Ferry video, and all of a sudden there's that video before. Jason Pantana, huge shout out to Jason Pantana, the head of our, marketing events at Tom Ferry. He has been helping people do these short form, 30-second, 15-second videos. The lead generation that's coming off that, the brand awareness that's coming off that is bonkers. 87% of marketing professionals say video, 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 and more video. Consumers love, this is number 4, consumers love seeing videos on social media. We both know that. I think some of that, though, actually plays to the algorithm. We know that Facebook many years ago, when they added the live button, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, I just think video is it just became an algorithm thing. So I appreciate what they're saying, but I think it's more algo. Number 5, video marketing equals profit. Again, if you're just checking in with me live right now on Facebook, we're talking about the 10 reasons why I need to be doing video based on what the consumers are saying. Then I'm going to talk to you about 10 different videos I want you to shoot. I'm going to talk about where you can get content ideas, which you're going to get a ton today. And then obviously the 3 must-do videos. So number 5 was 88% of video marketers are satisfied with the ROI of their video marketing efforts. 88% are satisfied. Now, I wouldn't say satisfied. I would say I am thrilled, blown away. But if 88% of the people say I'm satisfied, which means they spent the time, the money, the effort, they got a videographer, they did it live on Facebook, they bought the ring light, they put something into it. They put some equity into it, and then 88% are saying, no brainer. Tristan, how would you respond to how satisfied are you with creating content for Super 73? 10 out of 10. If you could have answered 1,000 out of 10, I think you would have said 1,000, right? How many bikes have you sold being an influencer for the Super 73 product, approximately this year? 71 bikes. His side hustle is doing something that he loves, riding these super cool electric bikes around town, recording it. They pay, can I say this? They pay him to shoot video, and then people use his promo code and he gets paid. You're not 88%, you're 500% out of if 10%, right? So, and think about this, I think about everyone out there watching right now. When I was a enormous advocate for video launches on your listings starting in 2010, I became a huge advocate for this. And people would say, oh, the cost to do that, and it didn't directly sell the home. Fast forward to my client Tim Smith. He did the Duffy video on a $45 million house across the harbor from my place in Newport, and got 2 buyers to write offers after watching the video. 2 buyers. So what we know today is video's where it's at, but let's keep going real fast. Just a few more, and then we're going to get into all the shows I want you to do. Number 6 per Oberlo's. top 10 reasons to be doing video. They said video marketing is a lead generation channel. 66%, listen to this, video marketers get 66% more qualified leads per year. Why? Because if I know you, like you, and trust you, if I'm watching you on video, if you're educating me as the local professional in your town, if you're showing me you're the mayor of the community, then of course I'm going to be way more likely to say, I choose you. Zachary Faust, who's a great client, who's just crushing and does just a great job on TikTok, would be, I would say, his biggest channel. And he and I were doing a Clubhouse recently, and he said, like, I don't get objections anymore. People just say, Zach, we're totally excited, get the home on the market. Like, if you're not getting I trust you calls, those are known as come list me calls, I trust you calls, if you're not getting more, hey, you know, we're talking to a couple of agents, we want to talk to you, we want to hear what you have to say, it just means you're not doing enough video. You're not getting on enough people in your market's consideration when they're thinking about selling their home, right? This one in particular that says, according to OptiMonster, video marketers get 66% more qualified leads per year. OptiMonster also concluded that video marketers achieve 54% increase in brand awareness. 54% increase in brand awareness. Additionally, 93% of the marketers say they've landed a new customer thanks to video on social media. Like, I guess again, like for my longtime clients, like, I know, just, okay, tell me the 10 videos you want me to shoot because they're super bananas. But let me just, for my friends that are still questioning this, number 7, video marketing on social media channels in 2020, YouTube, excuse me, no editing, YouTube is the most popular video sharing platform. We also know it's the number 2 search site on the planet, with 88% of them planning on using, let me say this wrong. 88% of people are saying we're spending money on YouTube with our video marketing, and 76% on Facebook. That seems like common sense. I'm trying to get the one that I wanted, and I think here it is. Ready? Power of video and purchasing decisions, number 8. 8 out of 10 people have purchased something based upon watching video. 80%. Now, hiring a service, that's you and I. Purchasing something, probably not a house, but yeah, you could say a house. This is probably more like product driven, one-off. But when you look at like the number of people that are choosing their service provider based upon the video they watched, and the number 1 video obviously is like that who are you video, who are you for, what do you stand for, what are you all about? Like, that has to be on the face of your website. If it's not, I wouldn't even look at your site. Literally, when I'm looking at investing in companies and I go to their main page, if I don't see a video, a teaser video, an explainer video, telling me who they are, tell me what they stand for, tell me the problem they solve, how do they solve it in a great way so I can get more information, I bounce. What's up, Greg Bingham in the house? Speaking of, Greg runs the Smith Group. Just talking about the Duffy video just a second ago. Good morning, Greg. Good to see you, my friend. Number 9, and we'll wrap it up with 10, growing popularity of video. Per Oberlo, growing popularity of video. Internet users spend 6 hours and 48 minutes per week watching videos online. Like, that doesn't actually shock me. And if you think about, like, that number probably spiked by the end of the pandemic because of, Hulu and every other device, Netflix on our, laptop, on our phone, etc. But here's the big one. Here's the mother lode. Number 10, videos roll on internet traffic, right? Videos roll in internet traffic. 82% of the global internet traffic coming from video streaming and downloads. So I share all that with you because whether you're a longtime listener, longtime viewer of my content, or you're new to me, I just want to say to you, it's not too late, right? It's not too late for you to say, I'm going to go hard on video as my primary way that I message to people and get the word out. So, Tristan, should I do how do I come up with content first, or just go right into like 10 crazy ideas? Just go right into it. All right. See, this is what happens when we're live, and you trust your producer and you just ask and you go. So I was asked recently to speak to a bunch of agents that are doing a lot of video, and they said to me, can you tell us, like, in your experience, like, what are like 10 or 11 videos that we absolutely must do? And in this case, It's probably more like 15 or 16 and probably some series, but I want to give you a bunch of ideas. So think about it like this. So I live in Dallas, Texas. And in Dallas, Texas, I believe the median sales price is $350,000. If you look at the migration pattern from people leaving other states going to Texas, all you got to do is just look at the data. It's pretty significant. They're saying like 550,000 new jobs coming into the state. You know, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, And Dallas is like saying LA, right? It's massive. So I would literally, the first video I would do is a video called Moving to City or Moving to State, 7 things to help you get started. Like if you live in an area like Nashville, like anywhere in Florida, anywhere in Utah, anywhere, right? Where people are moving in, to me, I would be immediately thinking, okay, if someone's moving from California to Texas, what are the 17 things you got to do, right? Like, how do you select this? How do you do this? Where do you start? What are the sites you should look at? Where do you get the best data? You know, like, how do you get the school reports? Like, I would try and just be the educator for movement. And I know agents that have already done other things like this that are crushing it. And the same rule applies for Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, San Francisco, Bellingham, Washington. So moving to X city or moving to X state, here's the 7 things to help you get started. That's a no-brainer. Number 2, a lot of popularity around a video called What Does X Dollars Get You in Y City? If you haven't done this, it is a hugely successful video that so many of our clients have done, but I want to plus it, enhance it. See, I think about, here I am in Dallas, right? So I say, so what does $250,000 get me in Dallas, right? And maybe I go broader and I say in Texas, no, because I do in Dallas because it's my hometown. So what does $500,000 get me? What does $750,000 get me? What does $1 million get me? What does $5 million get me? But instead of just like what we've seen is people like doing a couple house tours, I would literally start from the airport. I would like, I don't know, I'd buy a ticket, I'd fly back to my own hometown, and with my videographer, Tristan, imagine this, it's you and I coming off the airplane. You with me? So I'm at DFW, I'm at Love Field, picture this, guys, and I come off and I'm like, hey, Tom Ferry, Banana Real Estate, just landed from Los Angeles, looking at the Lakers video in front of me here, the Lakers sign, and I'm here at DFW. I want to show you what $500,000 gets you in the greater Dallas marketplace. And I'm literally walking off the airplane. I go over, I grab the luggage, we get in the car, and I'm just having a conversation. Like, so if you're thinking about moving to Dallas and you're asking yourself, what does $500,000 get me today? I want to show you 5 pieces of property, one in the east, 2 in the west, right? 3 in the north, whatever the number is. And I'm just describing what $500,000 gets you. I do the same thing at $1 million, right? But then I wrote down this morning, like if I was in the high end, I would do the same thing at 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, but I would do it walking off a private jet. You don't actually have to get the jet. You can actually just say to them, hey, can I give you guys some free promotion? I'd like to do this video, but I need to step out of a cool jet, right? Like, you just say, I'm getting right, Tristan, right or wrong? Like this is like Instagrammer, influencer 101. You get off the jet and you're like, hey, just landed here at Love Field. Want to talk about what $5 million gets you in Highland Park, in University Park, or in Preston Hollow, right? Like very specific high-end neighborhoods, right here in Dallas. Off the private jet, through the FBO, maybe stop at the Ritz-Carlton or the Crescent, right? Because that's probably where that person's going to check in. And you say, look, there's only a couple super luxury hotels in town. If you're going to be shopping in any one of those 3 places, this is where you're going to stay. You show them around, you introduce them to the concierge, and then you go look and preview a couple houses that are in that price range. I know that video would be bonkers. And if you have this combination of moving from X to Y, moving from one state to another, moving from this city to that city or that state to this city, here's the 7 things you need to know. Here's the 15 things you need to know. Maybe you interview your accountant, right? And they talk about what they need, sharing that perspective. But then to literally do the $500 million, $5 million price points and say, here's what it's like from the perspective of the person getting off the airplane. Welcome to DFW, welcome to, I don't know, the airport in Austin, right? I just think that will be bonkers for you. So those are kind of number 1 and number 2, even though it could end up being like 6 videos, because you could literally say moving to Dallas, right? North, south, east, and west. And you break down the 4 communities, and then is it quadricated? Would that be it? Like 4 different? I'm on this like bifurcation, trifurcation, quadrication. I don't think that's correct. Someone needs to tell me in the comments. All right. Those are the first 2 videos. Number 3 on my list would be a Drive Communities video series. This is something that my dear friend, longtime friend, Christoph Pughe, absolutely nailed when he basically said, look, I'm going to go drive Beverly Hills Flats. I'm going to go like every super luxury area community in his town. And he drove around and he just talked about it. If you go to Christoph Pughe's YouTube channel, you'll see it. You know, he and I know we've texted a couple times this year, and he's been with me in a couple live events, like virtual events. But he would regularly tell me, like, I get like come list me calls, which are I trust you calls from those videos, and they have like 3,000 views, 4,000 views, 5,000 views, 6,000 views, 10,000 views. And he did them like years ago, and they just sit there like these sales and marketing machines when people type in, Beverly Hills Flats, right? Or they type in, somewhere in Santa Monica, and boom, there's Christoph in his Mercedes. Hi, it's Christoph. Today we're driving through this community, and he just takes his phone and like suction cups it to the, what is the thing called in front of you? When you're driving? No, the glass thing. The windshield. Yes, thank you. Yes. I can talk killer video content, but I have no idea what the thing is in my car called the windshield. No editing. He suction cups it to that. And then he just drives around and talks about, most of the homes in here were built in the 1920s when this community happened, or, blah, 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 blah. And he just is the educator. He's the mayor. He's the one that knows it better than anybody else because he took the time to shoot these videos. So that'd be number 3. Number 4 is one of the videos that I think you have to shoot on a weekly basis, and it's called How's the Market? How's the real estate market in Dallas, Texas? How's the real estate market in the parks? No editing. This is just having one of those moments like, what's in my tea? I like it. Maybe I got to sip something. Man, I remember back in the day when I was like, you got to edit that. You got to edit that. When did we get over editing? It makes me, what, were you assuming that I wasn't a real person, Tristan, like before we? Yes. Okay, back to the video. By the way, you should go to, I'm going to give you a little hack. There's a site called TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy. Google it. Tristan, if I screw this up, tell me. TubeBuddy essentially gives you insight into your videos, watch times, a little deeper analytics than you get from your existing YouTube channel. But what I loved the most about it is you can actually go into TubeBuddy and you can say, basically like, tell me the videos that aren't being created in my marketplace, AKA, what are the searches that are happening in my marketplace on Google where there is no video content created? Mic drop. You could just leave right now. If you just did that, if you just said, okay, I'm just going to go in, I live in Hoobie-Dooville, anywhere in the world. Okay, this is what people are searching for when it comes to housing. These are the things that they want. This is the information they're looking for, and there are no videos on that content. You could just stop right there and just start creating content. Well, one of the obvious things in the early days of this was people were searching for how's the real estate market in their town, right? And there's, obviously a ton of content there now. The people that are winning are the ones that are just doing it every single week. I look at like Steve Cohen in New York City, who in the middle of a pandemic starts his show. And, there wasn't a lot of good things to talk about when it came to how's the market in New York City during the pandemic. But because he kept doing it and interviewing interesting people, right, he continued to blow up. Now I'm watching his videos. I was watching one this morning. Shout out to Stevie Cohen at Douglas Elliman. He's like, hey, this many contracts every week. Here's what's happening. It's a news show. That's all it is. It's a news show. Hey, Tom Ferry, Banana Real Estate. Thanks so much for watching. Here's the real estate market in 2 minutes or less. Right here in Hoobie-Dooville. Last week, we had this many new listings come on the market. the average sales price was X. We had this many pending sales last week. The average sales price was Y. And we had this many closings, and the average sales price was Z. I did a little deep dive research. I asked 75 agents the sense of buyer demand today with interest rates beginning to tick up, and the answer was no stop in buyer demand. The problem, as you saw from the listing number, we simply have right now a massive shortage in homes for sale. So sellers who choose to sell in 2021 are still going to get the advantage of incredibly low interest rates, massive buyer demand, and a lot of flexibility once they sell their house. So it's Tom Ferry, Banana Real Estate. This is your real estate marketing update for the city of Hoobie-Dooville. See you next week. You do that every week, and you properly index it on your YouTube channel, and then you post it on your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your LinkedIn page. You put it everywhere, and you do it for a year, you're going to become the mayor. And it's 2 minutes or less. It's the news. Now, obviously, if you get more advanced and you have someone that can actually put up the infographic, that can show houses, can show dollar prices, can show arrows up and down, which, maybe you get to that later, you do that, it's going to be even better. Okay, so that's, I think, number 4. Number 5, you ready? Think about this. In the U.S., 21 million investment properties of the 138 million homes out there. Where is the video on buying investment property in your town? Always want to use the name of your town, the city, right? Like buying investment property in blah, right? Whatever that is. But then I would also do another one called buying a duplex, and then I do another one called buying a triplex, buying a fourplex, buying multifamily. I would kill that. Look at my guy, Dan Blackwell. Dan Blackwell, longtime client, unbelievable guy, sells multi-unit apartments for CBREs, the number one guy, I think it's Southern California right now, absolutely killing it. Do you have some pull-up questions for me? Because otherwise it's just too hard for me to see it going live here. You should check out Dan Blackwell today. Dan does, in the middle of the pandemic, think about this, guys. We're talking about creating all this content. He's out videoing like large apartment buildings, describing it. He basically set an intention like, I want to film every large apartment in my marketplace, right? Which you could say, look at duplexes, look at triplexes, look at SFRs that are happening in your marketplace. Like, you want to be the educator for investors, whether they're buying direct or they're wholesaling, whatever it may be. You want to be the go-to gal for this. This is another segment where you can absolutely crush it, right? From a video standpoint. Dan, he and I were on a coaching session, it's like April, maybe it was end of March, beginning of April. And there was so much worry during the pandemic about, what's going to happen to rents? Are people going to stop making their payments? And then, of course, all the relief bills that came out, right? All of a sudden, I'm like, Dan, what you should do is you should just start interviewing large apartment owners, like big, institutions, mid-size, and then mom and pops, survey them to find out what's the rent roll been like, what's the percentage of collected. Those videos blew up. Hey, it's Dan Blackwell, CBRE, right here in Newport Beach, California. It's the May rent control or rent update, I forget what he called it, show. And he'd say, so I interviewed 7 apartment owners. They own between them 3,000 units. I interviewed another 9 people that had about 2,000 total, and then I interviewed 7 more people that between them owned like 50 units. And I asked them, what is the current percentage of rents you're collecting? And it's 93%. And then he'd talk about it. It was genius. What are you doing with SFRs? What are you doing for investment properties? Is it how to fix and flip in your town, right? Is it how to invest in your town? Is it why you should buy a duplex versus a single family residence? Those are more content you want to create. Number 6 on my list, easy one. If I go to your website and you're telling me to search for homes, if I go to your website and you're like, search for homes, and there isn't a 7 mistakes to avoid in buying your first home in X city, again, 80% of consumers are making their decision based upon video. It's like 88% of marketers are saying, I'm super happy with the ROI from the video, the time, the energy, the effort, having an outsourced videographer, getting my own videographer, doing it live on Facebook. They're all saying like ROI is fantastic, super excited. That's a no-brainer for you. Number 7 or 8 on my list is selling in blank. Selling in blank, avoid this $20,000 mistake. Selling in Dallas, avoid this $200,000 marketing mistake. Selling in Hoobie Dooville, avoid this $15,000 marketing mistake. Now, you could have, of course, from that say, well, what mistake? Well, you know, like, have you gone in the MLS and looked at some photos of some of the properties that are for sale? Like, that's a mistake, right? The lack of video, the lack of exposure, the lack of email marketing, the lack of agent network, the lack of, you could argue, you know, it could be tens of thousands of dollars. Think about so many people I talk to, Glenda Baker in Atlanta, Georgia. She's like, darling, because when I launch my listings, we unveil the property at such an extraordinary level that, you know, we're going to sell the property with multiple offers and it's going to sell over asking, which I know sounds normal today, but she's actually able to articulate, because of the things that they're doing, they get more. So the opposite of that is people that don't do those things lose 15,000, lose 20,000. That's a great video. You should do it right away. Another one, if you think about the population around the world aging, right? The amount of real estate owned by my dad, 75 years old, grandparents, 85, 90 years old. As an example, I would want a video called Downsizing from Big Home to Small Home in City. Downsizing from big home to small home in city, no brainer. And probably best if you are a, you know, good looking 27-year-old that you sit down with your parents or you sit down with your grandparents or anyone you had recently helped that is of that age, and you do a little collaboration back and forth, like, you know, tell me about what was hard about, you know, oh my goodness, I just having to pack up, you know, 55 years of memories. I think about my mother-in-law who moved in with me 3 years ago now, 93 years old, and like such a superstar. But, you know, the emotion of going through the house, right? Having those kind of open, beautiful, authentic conversations with someone that has gone through the experience with you, that is a killer video. Okay, number 9, I'm going to do a few more and then we got to wrap. I think I did this earlier. Oh yeah, selling in this state and moving to that state, 16 mistakes to avoid. I think that's a no-brainer. 16 things, 5 things, 8 things to avoid. Okay, couple more. Number 10, this one blew up, right? Huge shout out to Sarah down in Miami, right? Who, right? She comes up with this campaign. So Sarah, you get all the love. We have thousands of agents that have done this now, and they all say the same thing. That was the easiest thing I've ever, it was the hardest, easiest, best money-making thing I've ever done. Hardest because you had to sit in front of a camera for, you know, one time a day for 30 days and put out a piece of content. Sarah came up with this concept, her and her coach, of I'm going to answer 30 questions about real estate in 30 days, live or, you know, pre-recorded and then posted on Instagram, and then you put it on Instagram, Facebook, and everything else. So you think about, like, what are all the questions you get from consumers, and you just make up a list and then you just go through the list. Hey, the number one question I get is blah, blah, blah. And here's the answer, blah, blah, blah. Here's the answer. Talk about it. Tell a story, give an example, right? Share how you helped a client work through this. Share how you helped them buy a house. And this was the question at that moment where they were struggling and you were able to help them overcome it. That is powerful. So 30 questions in 30 days. And obviously, if you can do the city around Miami, right? Oceanfront in Newport Beach, right? You know, Naples, Florida, as an example, Toronto or the lakes, right? Or, you know, here in Nova Scotia, here's the 31 questions I've gotten over my 20 years in business, is a great idea. And then the last video, in case you're looking for more content, I love one of my closest friends on the planet, Kurt Kessel, Melbourne, Florida. He and his partner, Dwayne, we were sitting in a mastermind, which now feels like, Tristan, like a million years ago. We were in Newport with Jay Abraham and Andy C., Debbie Holloway, just like this bonkers mastermind with all these amazing agents. And many of them, so this is almost 2-ish years ago, they all still rave about it. It was super insane. But here was the thing. What I said to them all was, you all need to write down a number for me. And I said, they're all there. I'm like, write down how many years you've been selling houses. So they all write it down. And then I said, and if you're a partnership, combine it. So Dwayne and Kirk were like 61 or 62 years that they've been selling homes. And I said, guys, here's what I want for the next 62 weeks. I want 62 lessons in 62 years of selling homes. 15 lessons in 15 years of selling homes. 10 lessons in 10 years of selling homes. You do that, my friends. And again, it's not this video. It's not the 30 questions. It's not the landing at the FBO and hopping off the airplane and saying, what does $500,000 get you in North Dallas? It is doing all of these videos that create the body of work that over time makes you the mayor, makes you the absolute best, makes everybody in town know who you are. And that's my goal. I want you to be on the consideration set for the largest number of people that are thinking about buying and selling in your town. Like, think about, like, I go back and look at from 2009 forward. I don't know how many videos I posted on YouTube. 2,000? It's got to be more, right? Yeah, Tristan just said a lot. And look, coaches are like flavors. I'm a flavor. Brian Buffini's a flavor. My dad's a flavor. This one's a flavor. That one's a flavor. But you know what? Like, if you could taste that flavor before you buy, and you could taste it in mass at scale, I just think it makes it easier. I remember getting a call, and I won't say who the competitor was because I'm friends with all my, quote unquote competition. And I don't say that doggingly, like we're all competitors, but like, I don't really think of them as competitors. Like, I just think they're just good people. They're just doing their thing. We're all trying to help the industry. But like, one of them called me in like 2012 and basically said, it's not fair what you're doing. You're giving away the stuff that we all charge for $300, $400, $500, thousands of dollars, and you're giving it away for free, and you're going to ruin our industry. Think about that. I was like, hey man, totally appreciate your perspective. I'm just on a different journey. I just believe that the more I give, the more good I do, the more seeds I plant, the more possibility is going to come out of that. Like, there's like, when did cause and effect stop working? When did doing good stop creating more good back to you or the people that you love and serve? That was my mindset. It totally worked out. I want you to do the same. So let's go through quickly how I come up with content. It's really complicated. TubeBuddy is a no-brainer, right? Because TubeBuddy will tell you exactly what people are searching for on YouTube or on Google, but they're not finding content there. They're not finding the answers to your questions. That's a no-brainer. Another one is Quora. Quora, to me, when that first came out, I thought, man, this is going to be the most extraordinary thing on the planet. If you don't know Quora, it's like Quora. It's basically a forum of Q&A. Started out mostly, I think, Tristan, with like coders, like tech people, but then it's morphed into like when Zillow and Trulia and Realtors started letting consumers ask questions on a forum, and then smart agents would go in there and answer those questions. I would just go into Quora and search real estate in your town and see every question. Thank you, by the way. I see the Amanda. I appreciate it. Love you, right? That's what it's all about. You got it exactly. Thank you. I would go into Quora and other forums. I would even go into, what's the neighborhood site? I'm now spacing on it. My wife was super obsessed with it. Like, if you want to find out whose cat's been stolen or who's right next door, the website next door, right? Like, even there, not just to go in there and answer the questions, but I'm looking for what's on the mind of customers, right? So if I go to Quora and I discover what's on the mind, then I could shoot content about those questions. If I go on to like Nextdoor and I see that people are curious about this, interested in that, want to know more about this, I'm going to take that information and I'm going to create content based upon what's important. But also, Google Analytics tells you exactly the search terms that people are looking for. Listen to me, my friends. If I wasn't already in your cookies and you went to like a new laptop and you Googled real estate coaching, I'm going to show up number one everywhere. You want to know why? Because I went onto Google Analytics like 7 years ago and said, okay, there's not many people searching for it, but the ones that are searching, like, I don't care if it's 300, 3,000 or 3 million. If there's that many people searching, I want to be the first option. Does that make sense? So I created all this content and tagged it real estate coaching, real estate coaching, real estate coaching, real estate coaching. It's a simple playbook, right? Find out what's on the minds of people, whether it's through Google Analytics, TubeBuddy, Quora, Nextdoor, and create content on that. That's how I do it. That's my strategy. I'm just asking questions all the time to find out what's on people's minds. What's up, Matt Wagner? Matt is a genius. Dude, you and I need to talk soon. Please text me and follow up. It's a bonkers week this week. I'm going to Austin, Matt, for the first time. Super excited, right? All my friends from Austin. I'm coming to Austin. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's great. Steve Conley goes, dude, you're in my cookies. No, you're in my cookies, Steve Conley. That's the way it works. For my friends that are watching or listening on the podcast, I'm also live on Facebook right now. We've never done this before. I think we might want to do it again. There's a lot of good content here, a lot of people fired up. So thank you guys, and thank you. All right, so I'm going to end with like 3 videos that if I was your coach, I would like mandate. This is what you absolutely have to do on a weekly basis. Number 1, you got to do a how's the real estate market in city? And you got to just say, this is it. For the rest of my career, this is what I'm doing. You can talk interest rates. You can talk about the 10-year treasury. You can talk about what's selling, what's not. You can talk about stories of multiple offers. You can talk about how you're writing offers to get your offers accepted because of your agent-agent relationships, and that you know, right, that there's a method and a process. I've got some live content done. If you haven't seen it, go to my YouTube channel, a whole thing on like how to get your offers accepted. But that's 1. Number 2, you've got to do buying and selling tips in your area. How to buy a home in how to sell your home in and if you do it by community, that's even better. If you do it by like, you know, how to buy and sell real estate in North Dallas, and then literally just go Highland Park, right? University Park, Preston Hollow, Plano, bam, 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 like all of that. But you want to break down, like go to Tom Toole, Toole. If you look at his Tuesday show, it's like Tom's tips. That's it. Tom's tips. And all he's saying is, did you know this part of the contract? Did you know why you need title insurance? Did you know what escrow is? Do you understand what and he's just breaking down all the components, the manufacturing of a real estate transaction. It's brilliant, right? There is a lot of consumers out there that are going to go buy their first home. They're going to sell for the first time. Dustin Oldfather is watching. Dustin, I got so much mad respect and love for you. That guy's a beast. His wife is bananas, like his whole life, his brokerage, everything he's doing. I love you, dude. Right? Your team, I should say, team. But think about it, like the amount of first-time buyers coming to the market, or the consumer that hasn't sold a house in 10 years. They haven't sold a house in 10 years, maybe 12 years, maybe 15 years, maybe 20 years. They have so many questions. If you could be the source of information, if you could be, they went to Google and there was a video of you with your smiling eyes, and on the thumbnail of the video, it like is answering the question that they Googled because you went to TubeBuddy and everything else, and you knew the questions people are asking, especially people that haven't sold a house in 15 years or more, right? And your content's there, and you're like, hey, Tom Ferry, Banana Real Estate. I get asked this question mainly from people that haven't sold a house in 10 years or more. Tom, blah, 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 blah. And then you give the answer. Like, that's killer content. So that's number 2. And then I would argue number 3 is you've got to do something inside of your community to show how hyper local you are. So that could be everything from interviewing every school president to the local mayor to the owners of the best, beer pubs or beer gardens, to all the restaurant owners, to all the small business owners, to the HR department of the company that's moving in thousands of people into your city. Like, you want to be the one that when they type in your city name, there are hundreds of videos with you interviewing hundreds of people, showing community tours, going through the best parks, best places to walk your dog, what are the best trails to walk, what are the best places to ride your bike, what are the best places to do this, what are the best places for a picnic. Everything that a consumer could do in your city, you need a video on. So have I given you enough ideas to create some content? Did I give you enough compelling reasons from the earlier thing from Oberlo as to why we have to do it? And I'll end with this. I know I got a couple questions, but I'll just end with this sort of mindset of no one cares what you look like. Don't surprise people when you get there, right? Like if you have a fourth eye coming out of your left ear, it's better that they know it in advance. This is for all the people like, I just don't like, Tristan, how I look on camera. What? Do you look in the mirror every day? That's the same exact thing. Like you got to get over. And I say this with the utmost of respect. So I'm not being rude here, but you got to get over this narcissistic, I'm not enough, I don't look good enough, someone's going to judge me. Who gives a shit, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. You with me? Your vibe attracts your tribe. People are buying and selling with you because you're a good human being, because because you're good at what you do. And if you put that out on video, you will amplify your goodness and you will find more people that like people like you. Does that make sense? So I understand it. I get it. I work with enough men and women that are like, I'm just not comfortable on camera. I got a face for radio and all these like other silly things. And I say, stop. The world has gone all video. And for you and I, as many people as I know that totally crush video and make a fortune because of video, it's still not too late. It's still not too late for you to start doing video at scale. Find a wedding videographer, use your iPhone, outsource it. Go to your local colleges and universities and post looking for videographer who wants to build their resume. Will pay you in weed, Xbox. I'm kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, we'll even pay you some shekels to do the work. And you're going to find, like, at universities, there is a ton. I mean, Tristan, when you were going to college in Atlanta, right? You'd have been like, oh my God, like weekend work. Like, this is awesome. Videographers that have been displaced because of the lack of weddings during COVID, like wedding videographers, like they're out there. There's an endless amount of solutions when you're resourceful, and when you blame resources, you're screwed, right? That simple. So, couple quick questions. Eduardo Galvez asked, do you recommend posting the same video across different platforms? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. The only one I would be cautious on is TikTok, because you want to make it as native as possible, and TikTok isn't about education, it's about entertainment. That's all it is, entertainment. But yes, we take one piece of content and we splice it up and we put it on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We put it everywhere. Danielle Procopoio. Sorry, Danielle. My last name's Ferry. Don't even go there. How long would you make these videos? People's attention spans aren't very long. I disagree. People binge watch shows for 8 to 12 hours when the content is good. And when the content's bad, they don't. So the answer is, probably optimal 3 minutes if you're thinking about like, did you know shows. But when you're doing drive tours, right, or a restaurant tour and you're interviewing the restaurant owner, look, I mean, this is the way I look at it. If you get you go on Facebook Live or you shoot a piece of content, you post it on your Facebook page, and it gets like 78 views, and you're like depressed because it only got 78 views, my response is, can I remind you how long it would take you to call 78 people and talk to 78? How many doors you'd have to knock to have 78 people respond to you? The fact that you can reach 78, 780, 7,800, 7.8 million people on these platforms, to me, is absolutely bananas. So I never get attached to the numbers, right? Some people like more, some people like the content less. We used to talk about like every now and then you get lucky and you create a unicorn piece of content that everybody just absorbs. But I make basically a fortune on donkeys, right? 3,000, 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, right? Now remember, I have 400,000 followers on YouTube, so it's scale, right? But it's the same thing for you. If you got like 11 followers, don't be freaked out when you got like 9 video views and 4 of them were you, right? But you got 5 more people that watched. 5 people took the time to check you out. That's where it starts, Tristan, right? Like that's where, I mean, how many subs do you have now? I hit 12,000 2 days ago. Right, he hit 12,000 2 days ago. How long have you been talking about getting to 10,000? 4 years. 4 years. And now he's making a fortune doing what he's doing in a side hustle passion with Super 73. So you will make even greater money. He's getting like $200 commissions. You're getting like $20,000 commissions. Hello. All right. Ben Wheeler asked, should I focus on one type of video doing all of course, but one more than... Should I focus on one type of video doing all of course, but one more than the other? Okay, market videos, listening video. Okay, sorry. No editing. And I'm like coughing, like hacking. It's like something in my tea is just killing me here. Hold on. As I drink more of it, that seems weird. I need to have something soothing. So Ben, the answer is I have 4 or 5 original pieces of content that I put out every single week. That would be different from you launching a listing. Every time you launch a listing, there should be a video associated to it. I'm asking you to become the mayor of your town, the educator of your town, the one that is providing more value than any other agent in your marketplace, breaking down communities and everything else. So the answer, Ben, is yes. It really is going to come down to more for someone like Ben who really wants to kill it here, carving out one day a week that just becomes content creation, that's all you do. All day Monday, you're filming, right? Which means you might bring like 2 jackets and 3 different shirts, so it doesn't look the same every single time, even though I kind of don't do that, but I know many of you will. So that's totally fine. But Ben, the answer is yes. Listing videos every time because that's a launch, but market update every single week, community mayor, that's every single week, answering all your questions, that's every. Joe Moore says, not enough bourbon in your tea. Well, I guess it's like, I don't know, noon somewhere. Not here in Dallas. All right. I love that though. And if you're going to drink my bourbon, which is the Duke. All right. Mike asked, last question. This is great info for getting buyers. What is the best video for attracting sellers? Selling your home in, just switch every one of those buyer conversations to selling your home in, selling your home in, selling your home in, homes for sale in. Mike, I do a lot of stuff on listing attraction right now. I'll leave you with this and then we got to end the show and end the podcast. So Mike, what if I told you that right now the number 3 or 4, depending upon the top agent you talk to, number 3 or 4 way that they're attracting listings. So beyond their database, beyond their top of mind awareness, beyond their nurturing of their, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 email address list because they've been online marketing for a long time. The number 3 or 4 is circle dialing. Hey, it's Tom Ferry, Banana Real Estate. Wanted to let you know we just sold a house just down the street. Congratulations, sold for $25,000 over asking. So, good news is your home's gone up in value. The bad news is right now we had 11 people trying to buy that house. So you got 1 new neighbor and 10 people are like crying in their soup. So I'm calling on behalf of 2 of my buyers. Do you know anybody in the neighborhood that's thinking about selling, taking advantage of this? Like, that's it, Mike. And they're killing it with that, right? Killing it. So after we go hardcore video, future, what we should do, circle dialing is also working. All right, so I got to wrap. I've gone way too long. For all my friends watching on Facebook, I appreciate you. I love you, love you, love you, love you. Maybe share this with some agent friends of yours. For my friends watching or listening on the podcast, thank you so much. Like, breaking into the top 100 on iTunes for business has just been like, it's you. So thank you, 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 thank you 1 million times. And if you would make a comment or share or give us feedback or heart it up, star it up, it would mean the world to me. I appreciate you always. See you next week on the podcast.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Jason. Michelle, I see that you're here. Welcome. Michelle, did you have some things that you wanted to discuss? First of all, and we'll discuss the video here in a minute, but if you have some things you'd like to discuss that we talked about, feel free to do that.
Okay, sure. I mean, just something that's current right now. The June numbers came out yesterday, and as far as the building permits, the numbers are going down. There's a downtrend. So what this means, number one, there's less future new home inventory, which also means there's less competition for realtors on new builds. And number two, I think it's a great opportunity right now to educate for new pre-quals on this stat, that they need a sense of urgency to find a home now. And I'm going to bring this back to Jason, because we actually have been looking at what the cost of waiting to purchase a home will affect. Jason, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I think it's really, important right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we touched on it last week with the tools that we have through the MBS highway on just whatever city that you're looking in or whatever county, just looking at the the cost of waiting with the appreciation stats and things like that. They obviously change on a monthly basis, but we can definitely do graphs and things like that to help push your potential clients in the right direction in terms of, the cost of waiting or the cost of renting to owning and things like that.
Mhm. Yeah, but as far as the video today, I mean, Jason, are you done with?
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't realize you guys, I wasn't here last week, so. But yeah, as far as the video, Tom Ferry is amazing, but this is so relevant right now because more and more I'm seeing realtors, lenders, everybody doing the social media. And it's so important because, in light of the COVID and everything, it's a way to connect personally with your clients. So I think it's super important. I don't know, Jason, what do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think, different barriers for different people. I know some are self-conscious when it comes to being on video. Some just aren't familiar with it. I think, and Tom even touched on it, and I know Ryan's touched on this a lot too, that ultimately if you don't do it at all, then it's definitely not going to work. So it's just putting the plan into action and getting reps and we have a loan officer with us that's number 2 in the company that was not very familiar with video marketing, was very shy, and progressively over the last year has just become an expert at it, and it's really helped his business grow.
They also, I know it's harder. It's easier said than done, but yeah, it's a little intimidating at first. But honestly, people like to see the vulnerability. They like to see someone being real and that you can connect with. So the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things that he touched on and Tom touched on a couple months ago at his meeting too. It's funny. It applies to realtors and lenders with your picture that you take. Some people are self-conscious because they're like, oh, I'm gonna look there, see what I look like on video. Well, a lot of people, including myself, have photos of when you looked a lot better. So they're going to see you when you go visit them at the closing table, or they're going to see them when you show them a house. It's not like you can just hide and essentially just not show what you look like. To get out there, they're going to see what you look like. So I just thought that was kind of funny because you see a lot of realtors and loan officers and different people just using photos from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, guys, you can't state enough what, and it was great to hear Tom say it as well, but you can't state enough just do it. The rest of it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you sound like, anything, just do it. You guys, for the years, and I've shared this with you guys many times, a lot of people have asked me, what do you think of Grant Cardone? What do you think of Tom Ferry? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? This program, that program. They're great. All of them, just do them. It doesn't matter if you don't do them. I can guarantee you that. It doesn't matter what they're saying, they all have systems that have worked for other people, right? They all have testimonials. This worked for me. Tom helped me. Grant helped me. Bob helped me. Susan helped me. Some of you guys have had personal coaches that have helped you. If you do it, if you don't do it, I guarantee you they won't help you. They're going to give you things to do and you can do them. But regardless of that, guys, these videos, yes, they're going to see your ugly face eventually anyway, right? So put it out there. They're going to hear your squeaky voice. They're going to do whatever. They're going to see you eventually anyway. Might as well not surprise them later. But honestly, the people like to see how many of your clients are supermodels. People like to see people they can relate to. They don't need you to be a supermodel, right? They need people they can relate to. They want to hear what you have to say. They want to, like he says, and I always say, trust you and like you. That's who you do business with, people you trust and people you like. Tom throws in they got to know you, trust you, and like you. So that's the people that are going to do business with you guys. They don't care what you look like. Okay. They're not, if they did, I'd be worried. If they're contacting you because you're pretty or you're super handsome like Daryl, I'd be worried about that. Those are the kind of people that harass you and stalk you. So put yourself out there, get business. Guys, timid salespeople have skinny kids. We talk about that all the time. Get out there, throw yourself out there. You're not gonna make it if you don't. And video doesn't do you any good if you don't make them. Even if you make them and don't put them out there, nobody's gonna see them and it's not gonna do you any good. Jason, do you guys, first of all, First of all, I thought this video was absolutely amazing. There's so many ideas and stuff. And the irony of this video, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Tom is making videos of stuff that he's collected, ideas that have worked all over the country. And he's making a video for you, like you're going to do from the things that you know for your clients, right? So Tom gets business by making videos of all the things that he gathers in his field of expertise, which is a macro real estate thing from what's working for people all over the country, and makes a video that makes it easy for you to watch in 45 minutes. You guys are going to put all the stuff that you know together and make it easier for your clients to what your prospective clients to watch in a couple of minutes, right? It's the same kind of thing. And that's the irony of the video we just watched. I said, all he's doing is assimilating information and giving it to us in a video. That's exactly what he's telling you to do for your people. You think it's working for Tom? Of course it is. Think it's working for all of Tom's competition? Of course it is, right? So get out there and do it, guys. And I told you guys, I've seen some. There are people here in Orlando who are doing, focus on Windermere, focus on Dr. Phillips, focus on Winter Park, focus on Baldwin Park. All the different things that they're doing. I've seen these. What's life like there? And they walk around to a couple of restaurants and walk down the street and do all this stuff. You don't have to be super talented or super beautiful to do this kind of stuff. You can look like me or. And my gosh, even Jason, so it's just about doing it. Do you guys have Jason, Michelle? Again, we want to thank you guys for 6 awesome weeks. You're welcome back anytime you want to talk about anything, guys. Michelle and Jason have been talking to a lot of you guys on the side. I get privy to a lot of that information conversation. They've been helping people with co-branding. They've been chasing down documents and deals for them, and you guys have just been absolutely awesome. We really love you guys. Agents, they're there for you. Anything that you guys need. The tools from last week, Jason, thank you. That was awesome. The video from this week, it was the highlight of the thing, I thought, with the video information. I absolutely believe it's the future. Well, it's the present and it's the future. And yes, Jason, you need to do it too. And if you need to call me and get some coaching and, over a beer or whatever, let me know. But you guys need to do that as well, as you know. So it's just a matter of getting off the dime and doing it. So again, we want to thank you guys. You've been absolutely awesome. Michelle and Jason both have open doors for you guys. Anything that you need from them, and they're willing to go in it with you. If you need some co-branding and that kind of stuff, they're willing to do that.
The co-branding, yeah, it's really working. And I mean, because the clients see that we're working as a team here. It's not just like a one person doing their own thing. We have an entire team here to facilitate the entire process. So that's really helping, and we have return people coming back as well for that. So anything you guys need, just email us. You all have our emails, right? You posted them, and
yeah. Malvis, you should definitely be talking to Michelle, by the way. And some of you other guys too. I know you're in the neighborhood down there, so you should be talking to her. Where their center is opening. Michelle, you want to tell us any update on the center?
It's going to open in August. We don't have the final date yet because we're waiting for the rest of the permits and everything to go in. But as soon as we have that information, I will send you flyers and then the info to so you can send all your agents and they can also list. We have the virtual reality at those centers that they can put their listings on there for the clients. So it's going to be like a one-stop shop, not just to educate, but we'll have loan officers there, everything.
Fantastic. Do you guys have the Home IQ report?
I don't right now.
I'm not. Yeah, I can check on that with our senior management and see if we do.
It's a marketing website for them. I'm sure you know, and they can invite.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's list reports and things like that. I'm privy to list reports, but not home IQ report.
Okay. But Adlera, take their information. I'm going to ask you guys for the 6th week in a row, put your information in the chat box, please, so everybody can access it. Guys, we had some questions. Are these trainings available afterward if you miss it? Absolutely, guys. They're on our YouTube channel. Abby is going to put it on by tomorrow, this one on by tomorrow morning. Obviously, you guys didn't miss it, but some people did, or if you missed part of it and you'd like to watch it. And Abby's also going to post on our Facebook group. She doesn't know this, but she's going to post on our Facebook group a link to our YouTube channel, and try to pin that at the top, please, because we get more questions about this, regardless how many times we say it. So yes, these videos are on our YouTube channel. and Abby's going to put the link on our Facebook group page. Also, in case you didn't know, we have a Facebook group page. If you need information on that, I sent you an email already. If you've joined recently, it's on your welcome email. So Michelle's information's over there. Jason's information's over there. Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for everything that you guys have done for us and with us. We really appreciate it. We'll give you a big round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All you guys, you've been
Thanks for
absolutely
having us.
awesome. All right, and
Looking forward to doing more stuff together for sure.
Awesome, Michelle. Thank you. You've been wonderful. Jason, you've been all right too. I appreciate it. And talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll be in contact.
All right. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Bye, guys. Okay, FRI peeps. On to the open forum section. What do you guys want to discuss today?
I do.
Malvis.
Yes, sir. I always have questions.
Yes, you do.
So this question is in regards of permits for roofing for a property that is not on the market, that hasn't been available yet. And I wanted to know your opinion or my peers on what should the seller do. Seller hasn't put in, I don't have the listing. I am looking for information. So when I go to the listing appointment, I have value information to give the potential seller. These people I know because they did, my husband just happened to install the air conditioning for them. And my husband told them that I was a realtor. And they told my husband that they're thinking to sell the house. And of course, my husband gave them the card. And they told him that they were going to call me. They did make the comment to my husband that they're thinking to change the roof with a guy that have done roofs in this area, but he doesn't own his own company. Like people that have done the roofs in the houses, they just went to the county, asked for their permits, and the guy kind of did it with them, with the owners, and but the home is not on the market yet. So what is the best advice or suggestions that I can give to a seller if they are thinking to change the roof on their own? Meaning they're going to the county to pull the permits themselves and looking for roofers and do that with them instead of paying big roof company $20,000 to pull permits and do it all. What are the steps for them? Do they?
I think you just nailed the steps. You've got an unlicensed roofer trying to do unlicensed, unbonded, and uninsured roofer trying to do side work to cut out his boss. It sounds like on a weekend or something. Does that sound right?
Yes,
like a crew foreman, so. A crew foreman who wants to do work on the side. Well, I mean, I don't know about any $20,000 roof unless it's like a really nice big house. But I mean, they've got to be aware that if they're saving $5,000, they're probably taking a risk. So I don't know. Do they need a roof?
I think they have some shingles that are missing.
Okay.
I know that they say to my husband, I haven't talked to them, but they say to my husband that they're thinking to change the roof, but doing it that way. I thought if the roof is original and if they decide to just fix the shingles, it won't pass for FHA. So they will have to sell it cash or conventional.
Okay. So right now you don't need to really pass for FHA. You get kind of offers on everything, but if something goes wrong with it, so there's no reason that I can't, as a property owner, go get a permit for anything that I want to and do the work myself. I could go put my own roof on if I wanted to. However, if and when there's a problem with my roof, there's a leak or a hurricane blows it away or something like that, I'm going to have a hard time with my insurance, right? Because I didn't have a licensed an insured contractor do it. So there is, I mean, we have property rights as humans. We can all go down as citizens and homeowners. We can all go down to the county and pull permits for anything we want to do the work and have it inspected. So, but would it pass inspection if I did my own roof? Probably not. Definitely not. So I would hire a professional with a license and insured. So just let them know they're taking a risk by doing that. But they're going to sell the house. So, I mean, maybe they don't care. My gosh. All right. So that's I mean, I don't know what else. Or are you just trying to give them the advice of the difference between hiring a professional licensed insured company and not?
Yeah, I just didn't know if the sellers, if they needed to, if they're gonna do that on their own, meaning they're gonna do the permits themselves, wait for the county to come and check on it and close the permits. If that is something that, if they need to wait to list the home until after.
I would wait. It's a 3-week process probably. So I would wait to list the house. I mean, you can market it and say, look, we're having a new roof put on. Can't ask for more than that, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, right? Okay. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, if they're not in a hurry to sell, I'd wait till the roof's on. But I'd start looking right now. If they're going to be buying, are they going to be buying?
I don't know yet.
Well, you better find out. What you need to. Have you talked to these people at all?
I haven't talked to them.
Okay, we'll talk to them. That's the first
Just
step.
happened. This just happened. So, you know.
Okay, we'll talk to them today. Don't wait for them to reach out to you. Reach out to them. They might have lost that card already. All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Dalton, feels the market cooling. Anybody else? Feel the market cooling?
I have a question.
Well, all right, wait just one second. Who else feels the market cooling? Are we doing the market cooling? Anybody else?
Ryan, on Friday, I was running some comps for a buyer and I felt really good about the fact that I was actually getting adjustments in there. Abby will tell you because I was sharing it with her and Larry Angel. And then on Saturday, we got the full price offer on Lido, which leads me to believe that's not the case. So I really don't know what to say, Dalton.
Okay. I have seen, I have heard and seen a little bit from you guys of a little bit of cooling, fewer offers. There's Angie says she can see it too.
I don't see it real cooling down, but I do see a lot of commissions being reduced across the board. For some reason, I'm seeing more 2.5. I'm seeing some 2%. So I'm definitely seeing some reductions happening big time across the board.
It's funny that it's taken this long. To me, it's funny that it's taken this long to do that. I think it would have happened earlier. But I think, yeah, now that people are doing that, it's coming out of the wrong end of this thing. We're definitely, I think it's definitely hit the peak and it's headed back down a little bit. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I think we're just crested back toward a more even market. What do you think?
The average days on market is going to be your biggest statistic. So I just put a home on the market that was literally priced under appraised value. I advertised it that way, and it still took 5 days to get it under contract. So it may not, I mean, this is still going to be hot in certain locations. The perfect homes and the immaculate homes are still going to be hot, but I would say it's definitely cooling. And I think we're headed towards a much more, probably a 2019 market, be my guess. You're still going to have some multiple offers in some situations, but you know, the real listing agents are going to they're going to start getting more listings now because homes aren't going to just sell in a weekend anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I'm seeing that also on my end. Fully renovated houses are, flying off the shelf, of course. But then the ones that do need a little bit of work, a couple months ago, you could put them on the market and they'd still fly off the shelves too. But right now they are sitting a little bit. I do have a listing that just went back on the market on Golden Chickasaw over near Valencia College. And it is paying 3%. So go for it. Share it on your social media. Bring me a buyer.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's funny that you're just now seeing those commissions go down, because people have been, all these little funny memes and stuff you guys post on Facebook, and they are funny about how hard it is to be a buyer and how great it is to be a seller. And, you know, here's the face of a seller and here's the face of a buyer. Listen, your sellers all see that too. And they think that they don't need you and that they can sell it without you and that a blind squirrel could sell their house right now. So you think they're going to value you? They already didn't value you. You think they're going to value you now when they could feel like they could sell it on Facebook Marketplace? Probably not, right? So don't be surprised when you go in there and they want to pay you 3% total, 4% total, and you got to talk them into 5%, right? So don't be surprised by this. And yes, they're not bluffing when they say my idiot neighbor's idiot nephew will take their listing for 4%. They're not bluffing. He will. He'll do 2 and 2 on the $500,000 house and make 10 grand because he makes, you know, 40 grand doing something else on his job, his day job. So yeah, that's a great year for him. So that's not a bluff. So they feel like anybody can sell their house right now. And we're making them feel that way. And, you know, they're watching the news too, but we're making it worse when we put stuff on Facebook about that.
You got to know your worth. And if you know your worth, that's not a hard question to tackle. And it's, you know, using specific examples, you know, I can give you one from my year. Even in this hot market, I listed a house at 7%. And I walked in and this seller, you know, 2 doors down, they sold the house. That Keller Williams agent knocked on his door every single week and brought him a spreadsheet and said, hey, I'll do it for 5% and I'll sell your house for $390. And he was loyal and he stuck with me and he paid me 7% commission because I told him that I'd sell it for more, and I sold it for $430. And I got the buyer to pay some of his closing costs because they wanted to extend closing a week. So if you know your worth and you walk into these listing appointments and you say, hey, look, is anybody can sell your house in this market, but can anybody maximize your profits?
Yeah.
You know, it's somebody's walking in saying, I'll discount my commission. You know, are they going to discount your price too?
Yeah. You guys, you get what you
walk
pay
over
for,
them
right?
that easy.
You get what you pay for, guys, right? McDonald's cheaper than Ruth's Chris, you know? You get what you pay for. All right. Any other questions or comments? Sunina, you had something. Let's hear that question.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I can see the top of your head and I can hear you.
Okay, I have a question right now. I mean, I'm hearing that it's cooling off a little bit, but if I want to put an offer, because the other day near UCF area, I'm trying to find somebody, but if anybody has their own listing, you can pass it on to me. The buyer is ready. It's about $300,000 they want to spend, and they look at a 3-bedroom. But we went to put an offer, and I mean, within a day, they had like one contract, one backup. So should you even now put it over listing price or stay at listing price? What do you suggest, Ryan, with your expertise?
I'll let the other guys answer this. What should she do? Anybody?
It's easier to raise a price later than reduce it later and make your seller look bad.
No, but when you your first offer, what do you put it at, the market value? It says for 289. So should I just put 289 or should I go 290, 91 if they really like the house and they want to get it?
Well, I mean, I would suggest you.
No, I lost you.
Wait. Tell me what's going on now. I thought you had a listing. You're representing a buyer?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a buyer. Okay. And you're trying to buy the house?
Yes. So I'm trying to ask you, because I do, I do 80% commercial, but I do land up with my clients. This is a client who did a commercial deal with me, wants to buy a house in UCF area.
Okay.
Or a townhome. And we went and saw the house, but they already had a contract, a backup. So
right.
I'm just trying to understand because I'm not that much into residential. So
yeah, you got to go in. You got to go in over asking right now on stuff if you really want.
How much would you suggest? Like, suppose.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to suggest anything. They need to know how much do they want it and how much is it worth. I mean, don't just go in over asking on anything that's out there. But if you got to do a CMA on something before you offer it. You got to figure out what it's worth, and they're going to pay a little bit more than what it's worth. figure out what it's worth and offer a little bit more. And with their interest rates, you know, hopefully they can justify what that is. But that's why we did those tools last week on our trainings as well. And that's on our YouTube channel. You can look at the tools that kind of shows them what paying a little bit more now will mean with reduced interest rates compared to, you know, 4% or 5%, whatever they can expect in a couple of years if they wait. So there's some good tools that we had last week that are on our training. I emailed them to you all. I emailed that you actually don't have to watch our training. I emailed you the tools last week on my open forum email, where you can look at there. And one of them is called the cost of waiting. One of them is called, you know, a bunch of comparative stuff where you can see. But I mean, I could list a 3-bedroom townhome by UCF for $1 million right now. You can't come in over asking just willy nilly. You got to see what it's worth. So see what it's worth and pay a little bit more than what it's worth on paper right now. So that's my advice. If you want to win something right now, you're going to pay a little bit more than it is on paper. And there you go. There you go. Angie's got one for 285. 3-2 back on the market. Golden Chickasaw Circle. We've just made a match, guys. Welcome to FRI, everybody. We've made a match. Congratulations, you two.
Yeah.
So now,
thank you, Angie. Can you put out your phone number? I'll get in touch with you. I can show it to them maybe this evening. I'm going to get in touch with them. They're looking for something between 3 and 4 bedrooms. So, and this is within their price range.
Fantastic. 407-244-4282. Everybody dial Angie.
1 second.
There you go. Everybody dial Angie.
No.
Sunina, everybody's going to put an offer. Everybody in this training is going to put an offer in right now on that house. Mine's going to be 410. I'm offering 410.
Right. You win.
I win.
No appraisal.
No appraisal. Cash deal. Let's go.
Oh.
Closes tomorrow. If you can get the estoppel ready. If you can't, then I'm out. All right.
What is your phone number, Angie?
It's in the chat. It's in the chat, everybody. I just broadcasted it as well. You can watch the video replay of this if you'd like it. Everybody else have any questions? Congratulations, you guys. We got a deal.
Yes, quick question, Ryan. I have a buyer making for a 5-bedroom in Windermere, but they want to be within 800 to $1.2 million, and but the home has to have like 2 staircases. So if anybody
Okay, Joy, I appreciate that. Joy needs a 5-bedroom in Windermere for under 1.2. This is great. Joy, I love you, but we're not trying to do a matchmaking thing. We had one lucky match. That's all. We can't do everybody's buyers and sellers now. But you should be able to find that. I hope that's a reasonable. At least you have a very reasonable buyer who wants to pay a lot of money for a house. Yes. Usually, I hear about people who want a 5-bedroom in Windermere for $450. So. It's good that they'll do 1.2.
How big of a house are they looking for? Is that Joy?
5 bedrooms. It's Joy. Joy, put your phone number. Joy, put your phone number on the side. Sunina's making lots of friends. Put your phone number on.
Joy, let me know because I have a friend who might be putting her house for sale. So give me the criteria.
All right, guys. I'm going to go to lunch. I'm going to leave this open. You guys figure it all out. I'll see you later.
Can you give me a number, please?
Joy, give me your number. 407. I lost it all.
9280414.
1 second. 407-928
0414.
07.
No, 407-928 0414.
I'm going to open a party line for realtors. Just leave a 900 number. You guys can call in.
You should, because you should sell between your brokerage first rather than taking it out.
Yeah.
Can you give me your number, please?
So Nina, we're here every Wednesday.
090414. 1 second, I'm just writing yours. And I have what is this one's Angie's number? Okay. I'll talk to you. I'll give you a call now. My number is, I'll put out my number. My number is here. 321-689-1424.
Hey guys, if you have buyers that are really serious, they're approved, they're ready to go, and they're very specific like that, you really should be going on to Realist or Remine, doing a search, finding those homes that fit that search, and then using a dialer or paying for Cole Realty Resources, finding the phone numbers and calling those people. Then you get a sale, you get the listing side and the buying side, or you just get one or the other. But really you need to be, if you have serious buyers like that, that are really ready to go, and specific needs, especially in that price point, I'd be calling everybody around there. So if you need help with any of those things, like where to get phone numbers from, send me a message, send me a text, my number's there. And I can walk you through it on how to find the sellers for these buyers, because that's what's happening right now in our market and what we need to do.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. That's good advice. Yeah, Idul, we don't need you next week, right? You don't need me this week. I've lost control. So you guys, anybody else?
Brian.
What's it? Idul, you don't have any buyers or sell anybody you want to talk about? No. All right, guys. Well, love you guys. I'm glad we hopefully made some matches here today. Anybody, anything else?
Ryan, are you having this next week? Are you doing next week also? No.
Next week, what? Open forum?
Yeah.
Let me check my calendar. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Every week, Sunaina.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, the week after, though, is probably going to be on a Thursday. But don't get confused about next. I shouldn't have even said anything. Next week is Wednesday. There will be an announcement next Wednesday regarding a possible, never mind, there'll be an announcement next Wednesday. All right. Well, we'll see you Wednesday at 10:30. All right. I don't want to confuse you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, you guys have been awesome. This was a great training, guys. If you need to rewatch that video, rewatch that video. It was very, very good. And I'm going to rewatch actually the first one because I thought that was very helpful as well. And it was shorter, but I'm going to rewatch it because I thought that was really helpful on setting up your YouTube channel and all that stuff. And Abby and I want you guys to commit to doing something. If you're going to do the videos, let me know and commit to it because Abby and I are going to start doing videos. I've decided as well. To promote our brokerage and to promote you guys.
So now everybody pick a new listing in their niche area and go take a video of it, all the vacant ones. That's what I do. Every time a new listing comes out, I go and I do a walkthrough, which is what, every couple days or so? And I put it on my whatever page, usually Facebook business page. Super easy.
Yeah.
But
and I don't like being photographed either, and I don't show my face. I just show the house. So it's simple.
Right. Right. But commercial meetings have this kind of a forum where they only sit and give out their listings.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, thank you so much, Ryan.
All right. Thank you, Sunaina. Great job.
All
right, guys. We'll see you next week. Next week, everybody, 10:30 next week. We'll see you. I won't be able to be on a video. I'll be doing something else, but we'll have a good time. Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye. Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.